All right, we are live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's another Monday night chill stream. I got my one viewer back. That's good because you got to remember you got to time this. You got to time the intro music. It's like 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So if you hear it going, you're like, okay, I got about 6 minutes before something actually happens, other than the crappy Greek disco music. Anyway, welcome to the show. Tonight's show is called Life During Bitcoin. I thought about that title because of there's a band in the 80s called the Talking Heads, and they had a song called Life During Wartime, which I really liked. And then I changed it. I was listening to it on the radio a couple of days ago, and I just changed a few lyrics, and Life During Bitcoin fits a lot of that song really, really well. It's a fun thing from the 80s from when I was younger. And so I like the idea. I like that title so much. If this channel gets wiped off for hate speech, or if I commit an anti-Semitism or whatever, a homophobia, a public homophobia, if that happens and this channel has to go, I'm gonna name the next channel Life During Bitcoin, because I think that's it's even a better title because it kind of fits the subject matter that we talk about here in this exciting show. So everybody sit down, get ready for an action-packed show. Pre-show, I did my normal clean the hard drive, empty the cache thing that I normally do, but I changed the setting, and all of a sudden 801 megabytes of crap got wiped off this machine, which apparently was maybe slowing things down in previous weeks. So I don't know why, because I run this pre-cleaner thing, the software that supposedly wipes everything clean and maximizes the system resources, but I had a setting wrong or something like that. So it was slowing down performance. Maybe we'll get decent performance this week, or maybe not. Either way, you're not paying for it. So, what do you care? So anyway, let's do exciting stuff. Let's remind everybody of just where we're at. Because a lot of people are confused, they're confounded, they don't know what to think or why to think it. And it's important for you to. Why is this not showing up for me? Here we go. It's important for people to remember how far we've come. And it's an extraordinarily long way. It's a really, really long way. Right? So here we go. This is a tweet, and the woman in the picture is Janet Yellen. Actually, in the red, ironically, in the red tape underneath her, it says Janet Yellen strongly opposes auditing the Fed. But over her shoulder, you can see that there's a guy holding up the sign, the famous guy who held up the sign, buy Bitcoin. At the time, 4 years ago, the price of Bitcoin was $2,364 and some odd cents. So today we're down to $30,000 or $30,000 So way more than 1,000% higher than we were 4 years ago. And people are telling you it's a crash. Oh no, Bitcoin's over. It's finished. It's going lower. Run away, run away, run away. Just to remind you, right? You need to have a low time preference. You have to be patient. This is, you're playing the long game here, and you have to think beyond this fucking weekend. You have to think beyond literally the nose of your face. So, Bitcoin photobomb guy, when Janet Yellen was Secretary of, what was she? She was the Treasury, or she was the Federal Reserve, or whatever. But $2,300 today, $30,900, I think, right before the show. So, and then we have our friends. Here's another great. I've mentioned this guy before. I'm going to call him a friend of the show. He's not really a friend of the show, but I'm going to call him a friend of the show. Let's throw this up here. It's our old buddy Scott Minerd. Who is Scott Minerd? Scott Minerd is the manager of a $315 billion, that's billion with the B, $315 billion hedge fund on Wall Street. And he's tweeting, and the tweet is at the bottom. It says, if Bitcoin doesn't hold a key support level of $3,100 over the weekend, then things could go lower. And it's the tweet, quote tweet is, the global chief investment officer of a firm with $315 billion in assets seems intensely interested in Bitcoin. He's tweeted bearish about it several times on Friday afternoons or weekend, right? So this is a guy who manages a $315 billion assets fund, and all he thinks about is Bitcoin on Friday afternoon. He doesn't think about banging his girlfriend before he goes home to his wife. He doesn't think about hopping a private jet to the Caribbean. He doesn't think about whatever, I don't know, dinner in the Hamptons or being poolside with his kids. He's thinking about Bitcoin, and he's very concerned. He's very, very concerned for all you Bitcoin people about the key support levels of the price. The price is this, the price is that. I just showed you 4 years ago, the price was $2,000. It's now $30,000. But Scott Minerd, who's smarter than you and harder working than you and richer than you, and you should listen to him because reasons, is telling you to be careful. And, you if Bitcoin breaks below X price, things are going to get worse. Worse than what? We went from 2,000 to 30,000 in 4 years. You need to keep perspective. You need to think long term and understand that everyone's trying to fucking get you to sell. Everyone's trying to rip you off. Everyone does not have your best interest at heart. Particularly financial professionals, they are all completely looking to get you to sell Bitcoin so they can fucking buy it and hold on to it for the next fucking 4 years or 10 years. Do not be influenced by this sort of thing. And I put up that tweet because obviously other people see the same sort of thing, this sort of concern trolling, like, hey, Bitcoin people, I know you don't know me, but I'm the head of a $315 billion hedge fund, and I'm trying to look out for you. So here's some good advice. Scott Minerd. Go fuck yourself. By the way, Scott Minerd, a member of the tribe, unsurprisingly, a member of the tribe. So let's ignore him. There are Bitcoin concern trolls, and then there's people like this. See if I can get this the way I want it. Hold on. Fi. Well, there's this. Let's go with this. Let us go with this. This was an interesting little item over the week. For the difference, I've said there's Bitcoin and there's only Bitcoin. Everything else is a scam. Everything else is you're going to get rugged. So everything crypto, everything that's not Bitcoin is a scam. So there was something, an Ethereum protocol called Thorchain, and apparently $25 million went missing. So a lot of people got ripped off because you're not, I don't know what you're doing with your Ethereum, but you don't hold it. But the part that's circled, and you can clearly see it, it says the blockchain protocol has paused the network to deal with the attack. So in early May, the first 1 or 2 weeks of May, the government of China outlawed Bitcoin mining in China. So 53% of the entire Bitcoin network got shut off all at once. Literally, the network was cut in half overnight. And those Chinese miners have not gotten back to work. They haven't gotten plugged in yet. They're still trying to I don't know, move around the world and find a good deal to get back to mining Bitcoin. But Bitcoin did not miss a beat. It literally, someone cut more than 50% of the network out. And, did the price go down? Sure, the price went down. But did anything stop? Did anything slow down? No. Bitcoin still works exactly the way it always did. The network is 100% secure and functioning perfectly. Ethereum, however, not only did you get robbed, but the whole circus show came grinding to a halt because some guys smarter than you figured out how to steal $25 million. I get DMs and stuff of people showing me different, like I think the government of Malaysia seized a whole bunch of ASICs and Bitcoin mining machines and ran them over with a steamroller. Also, Paraguay, they proposed a Bitcoin law, but Paraguay is an absolute fail. They have not adopted Bitcoin. Their Bitcoin law is like heavy regulations about Bitcoin mining and some other stuff. Paraguay is an absolute fail. So we'll have to take our eyes off of Latin America and put them towards Denmark, because that's the next country that could potentially adopt Bitcoin as a legal currency. So we're going to have to put Paraguay in the lost column, and it's their loss, not ours. And Denmark, you're up on deck. You are up on deck, Viking dudes. And is something going to be Bitcoin in Denmark? I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll see what the Nordic people do, if they can succeed or not succeed. And a lot of that's going to have to do with how they do what they do. I don't have here's another guy. Here's a guy, again, a really super smart guy that everyone knows is smart. He wrote some books. He's a really, really, really smart guy. Let's get him up there. Come on, get up. There he is. His name is Nassim Taleb. He is half Greek and half Levantine, I don't know, Syrian or Lebanese or something like that. He was born to a super rich family. He hated Bitcoin. But in 2008, he figured out that the stock market was going to crash because of the mortgage industry was all screwed up. And he made a lot of money off of shorting the market in 2008, 2009. And everyone thought he was a genius. And he's, like I said, he's supposed to be a math genius. And he wrote a book with something with fat tails, or some math has a fat tail, some math has a skinny tail. So I don't know. I have no idea what the fuck it is. But anyway, everybody thought this guy was a genius. And they said, you got to open a hedge fund. So he opened a hedge fund. And the minimum buy-in to get into this guy's hedge fund, this math genius who foresaw the 2008 housing crisis destroying the market, the minimum buy-in was $250,000. So I don't know how many people put up $250,000 for Nassim Taleb's hedge fund, but he promptly lost all their money. In the first year, he lost all their money, or almost all their money in the second year. And in the third year, once he lost about 85% of everybody's money, he finally shut everything down and stopped being a hedge fund guy. So Nassim Taleb doesn't understand that Wall Street doesn't work on math. It works on insider trading. And he got a harsh lesson, which apparently he never learned. Now, hey, Virgil Doc Purple Heart, welcome to the show. So Nassim Taleb did not learn his lesson about insiders conning people and taking all the money and running away. Nassim Taleb hated Bitcoin, tweeted negatively about Bitcoin quite a bit for a long time. And he had nothing to do with it. But recently, he was invited to speak at a crypto conference. The crypto conference was sponsored by the people behind what was called BSV, Bravo Sierra Victor, Bitcoin Satoshi variant, which is some kind of scam coin that came out like 9 years after Bitcoin. But they said, this is the real Bitcoin. The one that everybody else knows for 9 years is not the real one. We're the real one, blah, 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 this and that. So they hired Nassim Taleb to go to a conference and talk about how great this thing was and how everyone should get behind or get involved in Bitcoin Satoshi variant. I don't know what that did to pump up the price of BSV, but all of a sudden BSV went off the fucking air. It is now no longer traded anywhere by anyone. It has completely vanished. Everyone who put their money in BSV has lost all their fucking money. And they used this guy, this so-called math genius, this rich guy who understands fat tails from skinny tails, and all skinny tails are the same, but fat tail, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. I have no fucking idea. But they used him as the face to rug everybody for one last fucking hit of money from the suckers. And I've mentioned that they use, those chicks on Twitter that are running around in bikinis in Brazil, or the one in the red outfit who's showing skin, or this one, or the Chinese girl. They're going to show you through as many outlets and as many platforms as they can anything they need to show you. Do you become retarded when you see a pair of boobs? Okay, that's what they're going to show you. You're not a low life like that. You're not like a fucking hormone driven retard. You respect intellectuals with a fine pedigree like Nassim Taleb who do complex math. Well, they'll do that to you to rug you. They're going to fucking rug you because that's what they do. Okay. Wall Street is going crypto. The same con men, the same thieves, the same actors are learning new tricks, and you're falling for them. Don't fall for them. There's only one Bitcoin, and that's the only thing worth putting your money in. Bitcoin and nothing else. You don't want to be like the people that got ripped off by Ethereum. You don't want to be the people that got rugged by Nassim Taleb. And I don't think Nassim Taleb is smart enough to understand that they were using him, but whatever, he is what he is. He's not a very smart guy. Does it make a difference if you lost all your money? Probably doesn't make a difference to him. But is he going to be? He blocks people who disagree with him on Twitter. So the fact that he was part of a scam that stole millions from people, whatever, and just hit the block button even more on social media and pretend you don't exist, because you can just skate away and pretend that nothing ever happened. So last week I was going on a rant. It was actually a pretty good rant. It's my pro-democracy rant. The democracy has been around 2,500 years and has slain every other form of governance. And I kind of threw out like an unofficial challenge, like, tell me the system of human governance that's better than democracy. I haven't gotten any responses to my video, so nobody. You could write that in the comments, by the way. You've had 2,500 years and 1 week to come up with something better than democracy, and I don't think you've done it yet. But since everybody wants to be a school teacher on the internet, I'm going to be a school teacher on the internet. I'm going to give you another week to complete your term paper, like the system of human governance that's better than democracy. You have another week to write it all down. And then if you don't want to tell me directly, you can write it in the comments below. Also, to try and improve the format here a little bit, I DM'd a guy on Twitter who's a very anti-Bitcoin guy that I politely invited him. I said, do you do YouTube live streams and debates, something like that? I'd like to debate you on Bitcoin or some related topics. But I did that like 12 or 14 hours ago, and this guy hasn't gotten back to me. So I'm guessing it's not going to happen. But I'm trying to get like maybe not a blood sports thing. Hopefully it would be blood sports, because that's what everybody wants. That's what everybody's entertained by. And the more I think about, the more I refine my thinking about a bunch of things, the more combative I want to be. Like I really want to start fucking smashing people. And I realize that what I want to be, this is like a goal, like goals, like life goals. I don't really have this written on my refrigerator, but you can imagine that I have this written on my refrigerator. I want to be the fucking Hannibal Lecter of YouTube debaters. You know what I mean? I want to be the guy that's so scary that they have to strap him to a fucking hand truck and put a hockey mask on him when they fucking wheel him around the fucking prison. That's the guy I want to be. That's who I imagine I could be if I could just get back in the ring with somebody and fucking start, rip their fucking head off and drink the blood out of their neck. That's what I'm looking to do. I didn't tell the Twitter guy that. I didn't tell the Twitter guy that. Like to some degree, he's gonna. I would give him the link to this channel so he could see the content and decide if he wants to do it. But he hasn't gotten back to me. Nobody seems to. People seem to be very much into avoiding conflict. And you have your precious ideas, the sacred cows that you carry around, that you use to understand the world with, and you will not have them threatened, much less destroyed by somebody like me. So, that's that. But I am trying to change the format from just like a long monologue, and then I get drunk, and then I get tired of doing the monologue because I'm drunk, and then I go do something else. I'm trying to improve. Like I'm thinking about my huge subscriber base of 37 subscribers, and like how do I keep bringing fresh content? But it's tough. Nobody wants to argue with me. I'm getting better and better at understanding what I think and how to destroy your arguments. And I think everybody wants to avoid that. Everybody wants to avoid losing. But I was thinking about the anti-democracy crowd, which is probably like 2/3 of my audience. The democracy haters are usually big fans of this guy. This is a guy I'm not a fan of. I'm going to show you who this is. You're going to like it. Here he is. Come on, show up on. What are you doing? Show up, you prick. This is all supposed to work better. This is a man named Friedrich Nietzsche. This is probably the best photo I could get of him. There's some really shitty photos of him on the internet, but Friedrich Nietzsche, I am not a fan of. He wrote 2 books. One, I think, was called Thus Spake Zarathustra. I don't know what the fuck that means. And the other one was called Men Like Supermen, which I think is a self-help book. Like, basically, the theme of men like supermen is that you can improve yourself. I think that's basically it's like a self-help book. Now, Nietzsche is famous for, he's famous for being put in a mental institution and dying of syphilis. So he got syphilis on the brain. I don't know if it affected his book writing. I don't know if people compare early Nietzsche, who maybe had a healthy brain, versus the syphilitic brain. I don't know. But Nietzsche is quoted by a lot of right-wingers and white nationalist types and white power people as being some sort of ideal guy, some sort of great dude. Now, I don't know what's great about being thrown in a mental institution. I'm thinking nothing is great about being thrown in a mental institution. And I don't know what dying from syphilis is like. I'm not going to say I'm a squeaky clean angel, but I've never had any form of VD in my entire life. So dying from syphilis and being put in a mental hospital are, I think, the 2 primary achievements of Nietzsche. And his public behavior, apparently he saw a horse pulling a cart, and the horse was very old, and the cart was very heavily laden, and he saw that as an analogy of something of Germany in 1922, and the horse fell down, and he ran across the street, and he cried, and he hugged the horse, because in his mind that horse symbolized the people of Germany. I have no fucking idea. But I shit all over Nietzsche on a regular basis because he's a whoremongering dude who died from syphilis. You know what I mean? He's like a mental case with syphilis. And I'm thinking, I don't know, that's not worth admiring. You know what I mean? If your 2 achievements are you got thrown in the fucking loony bin and you got the clap, that just doesn't seem impressive to me. But a lot of people are very impressed by him. And they said, well, James, you're oversimplifying. You never read Thus Spake Zarathustra or Men Like Superman, and you don't understand the inspiration that Nietzsche provides. And so a lot of the people that are pro-Nietzsche talk about the inspiration that he's provided. And so they don't want to look at his his behavior, like hugging the horse or getting the clap or getting thrown in the mental ward. They want to separate the behavior from his ideas. And it's very interesting. They want to weight the ideas as more valuable than the behavior. If only I understood his ideas, I could overlook his human frailty. And like I said, as far as I know, his ideas are, you can improve yourself. That a regular man could be a Superman if he does whatever the fuck. I don't know what Nietzsche said. I don't know if there's a program in the book, if it tells you wake up in the morning, do this first, do this second, do this third, and you will go from being a regular man into being a Superman. Or I don't know. I really don't know how. I don't think there's a program in the book. I've never seen like the 6 week, the amazing 6 week Nietzschean transformation from man into Superman. So the spirit of Tobias Gooch, you're back. Hey, welcome to the show. Thoughts on the master-slave morality? Oh, we're gonna do master and slave. We're going a lot of places tonight. Stick around, Tobias Gooch. Have a drink, maybe an alcoholic drink. Hopefully, you're not driving. Hopefully, you don't have to go to work tomorrow. Whatever. Maybe you could have iced tea or something, non-alcoholic. I don't know, but stick around. So that is Nietzsche, and I was thinking about Nietzsche and the people who say he inspires them. And I was thinking about some social media people that I follow, and I want to show you somebody that I follow. Where's my buddy? Here he is. None of you, or it's very, very few of you, are likely to know who this guy is. So let's go screen share. Friedrich Nietzsche, blah, 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 blah. Friedrich Nietzsche, the philosopher. Okay, come on, here we go. He was a victim of a posthumous smear campaign. Do anybody know who that guy is? I'll leave him up on the screen for a while. Take a look at this guy. Anybody know who he is? Study his face, study what he's doing. Okay. Do you know everybody give up? I'll tell you who he is. That man is a man named Brian Shaw. He's about 39 years old. He lives in Colorado. He is 4 times the world's strongest man. He has won World's Strongest Man, a contest against other very strong men, 4 times. Now, that's not the most anybody ever won it. Somebody else, some Polish guy won it 5 times. But the Polish guy was in the 1980s. That is Brian Shaw. This is not the World's Strongest Man. This is probably at the Arnold Invitational held in Ohio. But as you can see, Brian Shaw is a very, very strong man. He's about 6'9". In that photo, I think he's about 415 pounds. He has dropped some weight. He's down to like a slim 383 pounds. But Brian Shaw has a teeny tiny little YouTube channel with only 1 million fucking subscribers. Not like those popular Nietzsche channels. He's got a tiny 1 million subscriber base on YouTube. And Brian Shaw he'll sit down and he does all kind of videos. Shows him working out, contest prep, all sorts of things. And he talks about in some of his videos, he answers questions. How did you get involved in strongman? When did you decide you wanted to be the world's strongest man? And he tells a story that he was a basketball player in college. He's 6'9", remember? Basketball player in college. That's how he got a scholarship through college. And then he got some degree in like physical therapy or something. And he became a strength coach at another college once he was out of college. And he saw World's Strongest Man on TV. His inspiration was watching TV, big, strong dudes on TV, lift heavy shit. And he looked at that and he thought, wow, that's really cool. And he never thought he could do it. But he watched it every year and he became a fan of it. And he finally decided there was a local contest, a local strongman amateur contest. He entered and he won. And then he entered another one and he won. And then he left the college job and he went to work construction. And then he would work construction all day and then lift weights at night. and then enter strongman contests on the weekend. And he did this for a long time as an amateur, and he kept winning. And eventually he became world's strongest man. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times. And he never mentions Nietzsche. He never said, I was inspired in college by reading Nietzsche to become the world's strongest man. He said, I saw dudes on TV doing shit that I wanted to do, and then I trained myself to do it. He never mentions Spengler, right? He never mentions Evola. None of these guys that you claim were so fucking great has ever inspired anyone to be a world champion, right? Brian Shaw is a world champion. He has beaten every fucking man on the planet 4 times. He's been a world's strongest man 13 times, and 4 times he's won. He didn't win this year. He came second. A guy from Scotland won it instead. But he doesn't quote Nietzsche as his inspiration. The value of inspiration doesn't mean shit. And Brian's natural gift of being 6'9" is not enough to win in and of itself. There's a lot of training. Go to his YouTube channel. Watch how this guy fucking trains. Okay? Just having a natural advantage is not enough because everyone else wants to beat you. Everyone else wants to be literally strongest man in the world, and you have to beat them and gravity. Gravity doesn't care who you are, and gravity doesn't care who you think you are. So, wait a minute. I got the ice in the glass, but I got nothing in the glass. Hold on. So, Friedrich Nietzsche, Julius Evola, and Otto Spengler are not the inspiration for Brian Shaw, world champion strongman. They're not the inspiration. And somebody said, what's his name? Josh Neal. I'll beat up on him a little bit. Josh Neal said the easiest way to something on the internet is be your own interlocutor, which means like you question yourself and you answer yourself. So you set up straw men and you knock them over. Okay. Stand by. Because you don't know who Brian Shaw is because you're not a meathead and you don't lift weights and, you know, whatever. You're a much smarter person than Brian Shaw, who will probably admit he's not the smartest guy ever. But I have another example for you. Here's another example, and I found this, you know, it took me like all of a fucking 2-minute fucking Google search. I'm going to show you this guy. Going to show you where to do. Come on. Here's a guy who does something different from Brian Shaw. This guy's name is, he's an Italian boy. He's one of them there Italian boys. I got to look on my phone now because the way I have this set up. His name is Alessio Figali. He is the winner of the Fields Medal. How many of you know what the Fields Medal is? The Fields Medal is a medal given out for achievement in mathematics. It is an achievement given to you by other mathematicians. So this interview is online, and this is a nice Italian boy with the glasses in the interview said, growing up, I didn't even know mathematicians existed. He didn't know it was a career opportunity. He's growing up in Italy. He's slurping pasta every day. He was going to college studying Greece and Rome, philosophy, whatever, probably a pretty common thing over there. And somebody said, hey, you should go meet this mathematician. So he listened to a lecture or a course, got excited, found out he was good at math, and hey, presto, sooner or later, he wins the Fields Medal. Now, I think Brian Shaw could probably lift 10 of these guys and break them all in half. You know what I mean? If Brian Shaw had to break this guy in half, he could probably do it with one hand. Okay? So this is the exact opposite spectrum of lifting heavy objects. Okay? This is a guy who does math so good that every other mathematician on the face of the earth decides to give him a prize. The Fields Medal only comes out once a year, and it's given to one person and only one person. Surprisingly, if you read this article, he doesn't say Julius Evola inspired him. He doesn't say that Nietzsche or Spengler inspired him. He said, I didn't even know mathematician was a job, that it could be a career. But he gave it a shot, and you know what? He has a gift just like Brian Shaw has, but it's a different gift. It's not an obvious one, okay? This guy has a brain that is capable of really complicated math. In the way that Brian Shaw has a body that is capable of lifting really heavy shit, if you work hard at it, this guy has a brain that's capable of doing really complex math if you work at it. So you got to start thinking to yourself, is the inspiration what matters, or is it the actual behavior that matters? Okay? Because mathematician guy didn't even know mathematician was a fucking job. And Brian Shaw, being a college basketball player, never thought I could be the strongest man on the planet 4 times. And he probably didn't think that. Now, eventually, at some point, from struggling and trying and doing, you get the idea, hey, maybe that's possible. And then you have to figure out the steps to make that possible. Think of what the goal is and reverse engineer it, right? So all of these people that claim that Nietzsche's such a genius, he's not a fucking genius. He supplied you something that has zero fucking value. There is no world champion in any field of human endeavor that said Nietzsche inspired me. There is no world champion in any field of human endeavor that said Otto Spengler inspired me. There is no world champion in any field of human endeavor that said Julius Evola inspired me. Now, I don't give a fuck how much you spent, how much time you spend in college, and how much you think of these fucking 3 losers, but they are fucking losers. The people who actually go out and conquer the fucking world don't give a shit about your fucking heroes who fucking bang whores and die of fucking syphilis. Because that's Nietzsche. He's a whore banging, syphilitic brain fucking mental case. And the reason why all you guys love him is because of the power of his ideas, not what he's actually done. But in the real world, you have to go do shit. You don't understand this because none of you cocksuckers ever leave your fucking house. You really fucking think that you're going to read Nietzsche and then question mark, and then the Jews are going to hand you the keys to the money printer, right? Because the money printer controls everything, right? Even Nietzsche didn't write his books and fucking give them away for free, right? Julius Evola sold, all his books were for sale. They weren't for free. So they all needed money. The money printer rules everything. And the people that run the money printer are not just going to hand you the keys because you call them a fucking Jew. It's just not going to happen, right? If you ever get close, right? If you ever get close to these people, right? If you ever get close to this, right? Listen, Lieutenant Kilgore, I don't give a fuck about your concepts of power. I give a shit whether or not you won. Did you beat the entire world? Are you 4 times world's strongest man? Did you win the Fields Medal? What did you actually fucking do? I don't give a shit about the crap you tell your fucking parents when you're home from fucking college. I give a shit about what you fucking did. Now, here's a picture of the money printer, okay? Here's the money printer going brrr. This is what runs the fucking world, okay? And the people who control the money printer are not going to hand you the keys because you throw some shitty fucking Nietzsche quote at them. They're not going to be like, oy vey, they're quoting Nietzsche. Let's hand over the keys to the money printer and run back to Tel Aviv. That ain't going to fucking happen. Understand? That's not going to happen. The fact that you're worthless fucking incels who are afraid to leave your own fucking mommy's fucking room and you think that the value of ideas is important is because you don't have to fucking do anything. There is literally nothing you have to do, okay? You have no responsibilities. You couldn't solve a problem if it saved your fucking life depended on it, right? And a lot of people, a lot of these Nietzsche people are big fans of, here's what we're going to do. They have a list of shit to do. Kick out the Yids, right? We're going to yeet the Yids. We're gonna bounce the blacks, and then we're gonna whatever, ta the tortilla people, and we're gonna sayonara the chopstick people, right? You're gonna throw everybody out. Everybody's gonna be out, and it's gonna be all white country, right? It'll be all white country with all white people. Well, if you're gonna be like your fucking hero Nietzsche, you're gonna need some prostitutes, right? You're gonna need. Nietzsche wasn't married; he didn't have a wife and kids, so there has to be a prostitute class, right? You're gonna need prostitutes for your heroes to bang while they're writing their self-help books, right? Who's going to be the prostitutes? Your wife? Is your wife going to be the prostitute, or is your daughter going to be the prostitute? Will prostitutes be allowed to marry? Who's going to control this, right? Who's going to be the prostitute class? Will it be a random thing like a lottery? Every little girl when she's 12 years old, oh, I hope I lose. How will that work? Because Nietzsche, your fucking hero, the foundational genius that's going to be the architect of your system that's better than democracy, means there must be a prostitute class, right? There must be a prostitute class to service the Nietzsches. Because you're all going to be like your fucking hero, right? Whorebangers. Except, well, maybe you could do like OnlyFans. Maybe you all support, everybody in the chat supports OnlyFans. Because if there was OnlyFans in 1922, when Nietzsche was writing his books, he could have just fucking rubbed one out, simped all his fucking money off to whatever, Helga the super whore, right? And then he wouldn't have died of syphilis, okay? So all of you in the chat who support Nietzsche support OnlyFans. You just don't want the Jews in charge of OnlyFans. So you got no problem with porn or prostitution or any of that. You just don't want the Jews to be in charge of it, right? And who's going to go along with this? How many families, how many husbands and wives do you think are going to sign up for this? How many people are going to want to live in your ethno-state knowing their wife's going to have to be a fucking streetwalker, or the daughter's going to have to be a streetwalker, right? Because you got to have prostitutes, right? Right or wrong? Or will you outlaw prostitution in your beautiful white ethno-state and then go against the very principles by which your hero Nietzsche lived? See, when I say you're a bunch of fucking mentally ill, pot-smoking Hitler worshippers who need to be smashed in the head with a steel bike lock, I'm not joking. That would improve your personalities like 1,000%. Just keep smashing you in the head again and again with the steel bike lock until your personality improves. And I swear to God, were we ever in the same room, I would fucking do that to you. I would offer you that gift. The gift of a kinetic personality transplant. Yeah, Lieutenant Kilgore, tell me what I've done wrong in the fucking comments. Instead of just crying like a bitch in the fucking comments, straw man, you skipped over a lot of things. I didn't skip over fucking nothing. Mentally ill, died from fucking syphilis, hugged the fucking horse, never fucking married. What did I skip over? Fuck you, you lying cunt. So, that's Nietzsche. Nietzsche's full of shit. He's worthless. He has never inspired anybody to fucking do anything. Okay? Except mentally ill retards like you who put your fucking chicken tendies in a fucking swastika and pretend you're at a fucking Adolf Hitler parade. Fuck you. Like really deeply, fuck you and fuck Nietzsche, okay? So the people who control the money printer control the world. And you are literally nothing. You're like less than fucking nothing. You are a threat to no one. You're just mentally ill retards fapping to fucking pictures of Hitler. Come on, open this fucking thing up. All right. If you ever get close to the money printer, if you ever really scare the money printer guys, this is what you're going to see. This is what you're going to see. Right? If you ever get close to the money printer, okay, this is what's going to greet you. Those guys, okay? They don't understand your subtly nuanced, insufficiently, whatever. I skipped over too many steps and explaining things. They don't give a fuck. You may see a muzzle flash before you fucking die, but that will be it. That will be the final flash. They don't provide inspiration. Those guys provide penetration. If you get close to the money printer, that's who you're going to have to face. And I want you to think really fast and explain really fast. You're going to have to talk very, very fast because these guys don't wait around, okay? You're going to have to talk really fast and explain to them that Hitler was really the good guy, that he was inspired by Nietzsche, that Nietzsche's misunderstood, and if they could just read this fucking book by this guy who died from syphilis on the brain and hugged a horse, then they would put down their guns and join you. But I got news for you. The last thing you're going to see is a fucking muzzle flash. You know what I mean? If you even see that, because you're probably going to be fucking sleeping late, you know, from staying up all night watching fucking Hitler cartoons, and these guys are going to kick in the door at like 4:30 in the morning and come in on like a fucking the stack is going to be fucking unstoppable. So that's what's coming for you if you ever actually leave the fucking house. But we all know you're never going to fucking leave the house. All right, Nietzsche the whoremonger is worthless. So. Because nobody knows, where is it? Come on, all right, let's go with this one. There are, however, famously historical whores. I don't know if you know this. I'm going to learn you boys something. You old boys going to learn something tonight. Way back in the days of Alexander the Great, there was a courtesan, like a hooker, who worked in Athens, and her name was Phryne, Phryne, Phryne. And she was the mistress or courtesan or whatever, all the top dudes in Athens, or most of them anyway, because she could pick who she wanted to sleep with and who she didn't want to sleep with. And Phryne is actually quite famous. There's been a whole bunch of paintings and stuff about her. Here's one. Here's Phryne at the Festival of Poseidon. Did I make that bigger if I click on that? No, whatever. I have to do it. Okay, hold on. Let's increase the size. There we go. Now let's try it again. That's better. At least you don't have to squint at the screen. Phryne was her name. She famously was, one of her clients, I should say, one of her lovers, whatever you want to say it, was a sculptor, a guy who actually did shit with stone, named Praxiteles. Praxiteles, really famous sculptor from the 400s. And she was rich. She was insanely rich. She had made so much fucking money that she would sometimes not charge her clients. And she didn't want money from Praxiteles. What she wanted from him was one of his statues, one of his sculptures. And so the exchange went something like, supposedly she said to him, I want one of your statues. Give me one of your statues. And he said, well, okay, pick one, you know, because apparently he had multiple works going at the same time. It wasn't like one at a time. And she said, I want your favorite. Tell me which one is your favorite. And now Praxiteles is like, oh, he knows he's in trouble, you know. He's trying to squirm his way out of this. He goes, well, you know, each one of them is my creation. I love them all equally, blah, 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 blah. He's like sweat pouring off his fucking brow because he don't want to give up the favorite one. However many works he had in the workshop, he probably thought, you know, the chances are she won't pick his favorite. So Phryne, this chick she's not to be fucking trifled with. She figures out a way to sort this fucking guy out. And what she does is the next time she arranges to meet with him, she has his slave or his employee or whoever runs the workshop. She tells the slave, in the middle of the night, come into the bedchamber and say, Master, the workshop is on fire. Master, wake up. The workshop is on fire. So, and the slave does it. I don't know why he does it, but he does it. So he comes in and he says, Master, wake up. The workshop is on fire. And she's waking, she obviously shakes and wakes him up. He pops up out of bed and he says, quick, save Eros, the son of Aphrodite. Save the Eros statue. Run, quickly, get the Eros statue. So she figured out what was really his favorite. And of course, that's the one she took from him. Very, very clever girl. And rich, like richer than you can imagine. At one point, before Alexander the Great left Greece, the people of the city of Thebes pissed him off. I don't remember what they did, but they fucking pissed him off. And he sent his army in there. They killed fucking like half the fucking city, emptied the fucking treasury, and then they broke down the wall, the defensive wall around the city of Thebes. And then they, of course, Alexander, after that, he went and marched off across the Hellespont and into Asia and into the history books. But the entire city of Thebes no longer had a defensive wall, and they were like all alone and vulnerable, and not a good place to be. So Phryne, how's it going, Tom? Phryne decided to make an offer, and she offered the citizens of Thebes to rebuild their entire defensive wall, and she would pay for it. But at the main gate, there had to be a stone with her name carved in it and the message, "This wall provided by Phryne of Athens." And whoever was still surviving in Thebes, they thought about it. They really wanted a wall. They didn't want to go to sleep at night without a wall around their city. But they were kind of afraid Alexander the Great would come back and then punish them even more. Now, nobody knew Alexander would never set foot in Greece again. But they declined Phryne's quite generous offer and said, "No, thank you, ma'am. We'll sort it out ourselves." Phryne had a very long career. It was said her skin was perfectly white and absolutely perfect. And then, what are we doing? Get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. So here's the other one. Essentially, when she hit middle age, she kind of retired. But there were moralistic scumbags in pre-Christian Greece the way there's moralistic scumbags today. And for some reason, they had her arrested and brought into court. And she didn't know what the fuck they were going to do with her. I can't remember what they charged her with. But they could take all the money, they could kill her, they could do whatever. She was in in a real jackpot. And her lawyer was also one of her clients. And the trial went on for 6 or 7 days. And things were not looking fucking good at all. She had to figure out a way out of this because they could do whatever she wanted. And here's it's a famous Renaissance painting. You might have seen. Let's put that up there. She had the idea to have her lawyer strip her in front of the entire jury, and he did. And her perfect, flawless white skin, even in her 40s, even as a MILF, was enough to convince the jury that, you know what, she's not a bad girl. Who could resist, really? Who could possibly resist? And so they voted her not guilty, and that was that. And Phryne was the courtesan, the hooker, the prostitute, call it what you will, who won her freedom by stripping nude in court. And as far as I know, probably the only woman from ancient Greece that anyone ever remembered her name. You know what I mean? So that's the story of Phryne. Pretty good story, all in all. How can you get that gift? Go to Google. Just type in Phryne. Phryne was the woman's name. It's Phryne Areopagus, but it's Phryne. Now here's the fun part. Here's the even more fun part because I remembered this from a while ago, and And Freeney is not dead. Well, not really dead anyway. Apparently Zeus has decided to reincarnate her. And what am I talking about? Well, if you go on YouTube in the search box up here, and you type in Freeney, you might get this result, Freeney Fisher. There was an Australian TV series. I think it was like 3 seasons of 8 episodes or something. I don't know how Australian TV works. This was like in 2015. Freeney's been reincarnated, believe it or not. Freeney Fisher, I think the TV show is called Mrs. Fisher's Murder Mysteries. Mrs. Fisher's Murder Mysteries. So it's set in Australia in the 1920s. There was a woman named Freeney Fisher, and she drives this big, gigantic, whatever, like a Lamborghini is back in the day, big, gigantic supercar. She carries a stiletto dagger in her stockings. She carries a Smith & Wesson revolver in her purse. She speaks 14 languages. She's super rich, and she's a private detective in the city of Melbourne during the Roaring 20s. And of course, when you're a private detective, whether you're a female one or a male one, you're always running afoul of the law. And apparently there's some cop, I don't know what, again, I just looked at like a few 1 or 2 minute clips on YouTube. There's a cop who's, of course, handsome and single, of course. He's like the inspector of whatever, the Australian National Police, whatever the fuck he is, of Melbourne. And of course, there was crisscrossing paths, right? So he disapproves of her and she likes him, or maybe she's just working him because there's always dudes swirling around her. And she's always, of course, if you're going to be mixed up with a lot of stuff if you're solving murder mysteries, solving murders as a female detective in the 1920s. Anyway, it looks like a fun show from Australia, probably like a guilty pleasure TV show. It's a lot of witty, good dialogue and stuff. And I think it's a very white supremacist TV show because I didn't see no brown faces in any of the YouTube clips. So, which would fit because, you want to make a TV show where people would watch, where, you don't have super wise Negroes or whatever, smart alecky Jews or whatever. Like you have to set it in Melbourne, Australia in the 20s. Admittedly, you're going to have to suspend more than a little bit of disbelief that a wealthy, multilingual, whatever she is, drives a car like crazy and solves murders and whatever. But Freeney has been reincarnated. So I was absolutely tickled by that. I thought that was fucking hilarious that somebody reached back into history to find an interesting character, and that's what they picked. So, and I think you can Netflix that or whatever. Again, it's called Mrs. Fisher's Murder Mysteries. You can see previews on it on YouTube. A lot of fun. Lots and lots and lots of fun. Tons of fun. Where are we at? Where are we at? So, okay. The way things are going are all in all pretty good. The Chinese guys have not plugged back in yet. Oh, well, Paraguay failed on the Bitcoin law. Denmark up next. All in all, things are going pretty well. Although I avoided getting killed twice on the road this weekend, and it's like not even a thing anymore. But you have to understand it's those who provide inspiration are fucking worthless. You understand that? Nietzsche is worthless. Spengler is worthless. Evola is worthless because no one who ever achieved anything, whether it's Brian Shaw, the 4 times world's strongest man, or Antonio, whatever, Spaghettio, Chef Boyardee, who won the fucking Fields Medal, okay? The people who actually conquer the world in whatever their field of endeavor, whether it's complex mathematics or lifting heavy shit, are never inspired by the people you think are fucking inspiring. The people you think are inspiring, everybody hates. And the reason why you think that inspiration is valuable is because you're a fucking useless cunt. Do you understand you have no fucking value? Providing inspiration is not a fucking job description. That's not a career. Oh, I provide inspiration. Really? You think you get a 6-figure salary from that? We're gonna kick out the Jews and the blacks and the fucking beaners and the chinks, and it's just gonna be white people, but with a prostitute class, for you Nietzsche dudes, right? There's gonna be a prostitute class. The government going to force girls into prostitution? Will they entice girls into prostitution? Will there be a certain number of years when they start, when they finish? Will they get health care, pensions? How's that going to fucking work? How the fuck is that going to work? And who's going to do all this shit? Like, I know you're the inspiration provider, like your fucking hero Nietzsche. You can't do anything. You can't do chemistry. You can't lift heavy shit. You can't do fucking math. You don't know how to pour concrete. You can't fucking make a sandwich. You're an inspiration provider. You're going to go on fucking YouTube and you're going to say, look at this fucking book I have. It's really inspirational. Now go out and do what the fuck are you going to do? Nietzsche said, hey, let's read from our daily our Nietzsche reader. Here, you know what Nietzsche says today? It says, Monday, go eat a fucking grapefruit. What the fuck is that? Providing inspiration is you think you can bullshit the world the way you bullshit your parents into giving you a fucking allowance. You have to come out of the house and do shit that's valuable. And you can't do that. That's why you value inspiration. Nietzsche provides inspiration. Well, not for Brian Shaw and not for the Fields Medal guy. There is no one who has achieved anything of significance who credits Nietzsche, who credits Evola, or credits fucking Spengler, okay? The people who talk about Nietzsche are like fucking, what's his name? Fucking Richard Spencer. Richard Spencer, if it wasn't for bariatric surgery and testosterone replacement therapy, he would be the fucking white Oprah Winfrey. He would look exactly like Oprah Winfrey if Oprah Winfrey was a fucking white guy, right? He's a fat fuck who fucking morbidly fucking obese, guaranteed he had bariatric surgery, guaranteed, and he's on fucking roids, guaranteed. He talks about that. Why? Because he has no fucking job. He has no job. He hasn't started a company that provides for anybody. He doesn't fucking send money to fucking defend anybody, right? He just lives off of others and he provides inspiration. That's why I swear to my fucking hand to God, it would be like it's easy as fucking falling off a log for me to murder Richard Spencer. I could beat him to fucking death any day of the fucking week. And I would do that in front of a fucking video camera, and I would beat the case in fucking court. 100% I would fucking beat that case. I would beat that case like this. It'd be so fucking easy. And I wouldn't even have to take off my top like Freeney did in the court. I could do it and keep my clothes on. Inspiration providers mean you're fucking useless. You are useless. You're not an engineer. You're not a mechanic. You're not a laborer. You're nothing. Because mommy and daddy let you get away with being a nothing and giving you fucking money and giving you an upper middle class lifestyle. That's not going to happen when mommy and daddy are gone. When they're gone, you're going to have to provide for yourself. You're going to have to go out in the world and compete against others who don't give a fuck about you and they want to be the best at whatever. Okay? That's the way the real world works. That's the way the real world works. Anybody you think that find somebody who is the best in the world at anything, who quotes Nietzsche as their fucking inspiration, who quotes Evola as their fucking inspiration, who quotes Spengler as their inspiration. Find who that person is and write it in the comments below. Write it in the comments. Go out. You have a couple of tasks. Find the system of human governance better than democracy. It's 2,500 years, and I'll give you another week. 2,500 years in 2 weeks, you have to do this task. Find something better than Bitcoin, right? Some currency or whatever that you think is better than Bitcoin, okay? Some government that's going to issue you a piece of paper that's more reliable, more secure, and more valuable than Bitcoin, okay? That's another thing you could do. And then the third thing you can do is find the world champion in any fucking thing. microbiology, I don't care, scuba diving, I don't give a fuck what it is. That was inspired by, that says, you know how I became the owner of the world's largest fishing boat fleet? As I read Nietzsche in college, and I said, fish like superfish. Right? Listen to me. Once you faggots come out in the street, you're going to get destroyed. Literally, people are going to punch your fucking nose from the front of your face into the back of your fucking face. You're going to find out that it's not at all like what you think it is, right? There's, what's his name? There's a boxing match coming up. Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury, who's a white guy, versus Deontay Wilder, who's a black guy, right? Tyson Fury is named after, I was actually named after Mike Tyson, the heavyweight champion of the 1980s. But just because Tyson Fury was named after Mike Tyson, that they didn't just hand him the heavyweight championship of the world. Oh, you got the right name. Here's the fucking belt. And here's $100 million. He had to fucking work. He had to fight a lot of people. He had to fight a lot of people and beat them all in order to become world champion. And Mike Tyson doesn't go, oh, by the way, your first name is my name, so why don't you fucking give me half your paycheck? Because he knows if he did that, Tyson Fury would knock fucking Mike Tyson at the next fucking week. You got to do the fucking work. You got to do the work. No one else does the work except you. To have the fucking achievement, you have to do the work. Inspiration providers is not work. That's a bullshitter. That's a bullshitter. You know what I mean? I provide inspiration. What, really? Who gives a fuck? With a bag of inspiration and $3.50, you can get a fucking ride on the New York City subway. That's how valuable fucking inspiration is. Go fuck yourself. You zero achievement, sitting at home eating chicken tendies, fucking Adolf Hitler worshiping fucking mental cases. I don't know. Tyson the greatest. Tyson was good. He was really, I don't know, he was greatest. But Tyson Fury is about to keep White Boy Summer going full blast, like full blast. I don't think Wilder lasts 4 rounds with him. You know what I mean? I watched the stuff that Wilder's putting out. He's hitting the bag. Deontay Wilder, right? He was a puncher. He's a super strong right hand, monster strong right hand. That was nicknamed the Eraser. Deontay Wilder was never a good boxer. He would be losing boxing matches, losing 6 out of fucking 8 rounds or some shit like that. But his fucking right hand was like the hammer of fucking God. He fucking hit you and down you went, and that's it. He won the match. And everyone would forget that Deontay Wilder doesn't know how to box. You think, how is it possible you get to be heavyweight champion of the world and not know how to box? It's because you have a monster right hand. However, Tyson Fury is a much smarter guy, you know. And there's two ways to beat a puncher. Okay, a guy with a monster punch. The first way is come in at angles, right? You don't come straight in. You come in at an angle. Everything's at an angle, and you go out at an angle, and you never stand right in front of the guy, because if you stand right in front of the guy, he's going to blast you. That's one way to beat a puncher, and that's what Tyson Fury was doing the first time he was fighting Deontay Wilder. And one could argue he was winning or he wasn't winning. In the 12th round, Wilder literally knocks Tyson Fury out, knocked him out fucking cold, laying on the canvas. And like a fucking Rocky movie, Tyson Fury opens his fucking eyes, gets up, and starts fighting again and winning the round. And you could see Deontay Wilder's eyes going, what the fuck just happened? He had no idea what happened. The fight ended. Deontay Wilder, they gave it to him because he was a champ. In the second fight, it was a bloodbath. It was an absolute bloodbath. Because the other way to beat a puncher, which is what Deontay Wilder is, in order to really slam that fucking right hand home, you have to set yourself. You can't be moving. You can't be dancing. You can't be on your toes, right? You have to set yourself and fucking, wind up all that muscle, all that fucking muscle power, and bang. You have to set yourself in order to throw that right hand. So the second way to beat a puncher is don't let him set himself. As soon as he starts to set himself, crash into him. fucking do anything, push him backwards, get him on his fucking heels so he can't set himself, so he can't throw that right hand. Because almost nobody can fight going backwards. Almost no human being can box going backwards. I think there's maybe like one or two guys have ever been able to do that. That's how Tyson Fury destroyed him in 7 in the last round, and I don't think it goes forward this time. Lieutenant Kilgore, will BTC fall below 25K? If it does, I'm going to figure out how to sell a fucking kidney. You know what I mean? I'm literally going to figure out how to sell a fucking kidney to buy more. I think that's unlikely. The damage has been done. Like I said, the 53% of the network, which was in China, the Chinese miners have been unplugged and they haven't gotten plugged in again. Okay. Once they get plugged in again, it's going to be off to the fucking races. Everybody's favorite hag, Nancy Pelosi, filed the fucking a notice that she bought, or her husband bought, stock options in FANG stocks, but he also bought call options in NVIDIA. NVIDIA is the company that makes the chips that are the GPUs or the ASICs chips that are used to fucking mine Bitcoin. He bought call options. Why would he do that? If Bitcoin mining wasn't going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. This thing ain't going away. I doubt it will ever. 25K is too low. It's fallen as low as it can be. It was 64K. You cut the network in half. Now it's 30K, 32K, whatever. About half of 64K. Once everybody gets plugged in again, and this shit spools up again, off we go. Higher and higher, because the money printer is not going to stop. This is not going to stop. Where is it? This is not going to stop. The reason why it's so clear once you understand it, right? Or I gotta click share. What am I doing? Fucking see, that's the problem when you start drinking alcohol. Plus, I was drinking all afternoon. I was being like a European guy. I was imagining I was like a sophisticated European person. I'm not going out. I'm not spending any money. So I just sit home and I just drank a bottle of red wine before the show. This is not going to stop. The money printer is not going to stop. Donald Trump didn't stop it. Joe Biden's not going to stop it. There's no constitutional law that says the money printer has to stop. Okay? Because there is no end to the amount of money that's going to be poured into the economy, which means the dollar is going to go down. The more they print, the more it's going to go down. The more they print, the more it's going to go down. And everything that's not a dollar will go up. That's going to be gold. That's going to be stocks. It's going to be Bitcoin. It's going to be oil. It's going to be food. It's going to be a lot of things. It doesn't all go up and down symmetrically, evenly, but eventually it's going to crash. Okay, and a bunch of things that you don't really need are going to turn out to be worthless. All the price, what they call price discovery, will take over with a vengeance. Real estate's going to crash. Stock market's going to crash. Everything's going to crash, except Bitcoin, which there's a limited supply. It's inelastic. It's extremely difficult or impossible to confiscate. And the nature of what it is, that in order to get it, you have to be part of this network. You have to expend a lot of electricity to make this happen. And the blockchain that records every transaction, okay, that secures the network. This is a system unlike any other. That's why I say Bitcoin, which is decentralized money, is the final piece to decentralized government, which is democracy. It took a long ass fucking time, thousands of years, okay, for the money to catch up with the style of governance. Now, is the future really going to be democracy? Not in the way that we understand it, because it's going to change. It's going to look a little bit like democracy. It's going to look a little bit like communism. It's going to look a little bit like authoritarianism. Because when there's no rulers, okay, there's no one behind Bitcoin. There's no one printing Bitcoin. It's math and software. It can't be bribed. It can't be corrupted. It can't be, it can't be dissuaded. It is inevitable. This reality, using math, okay, using rules, not rulers, will, like democracy destroyed all the fucking god kings and all the tribal chieftains, like democracy slew them, even though it took a long time. Bitcoin will destroy all of the world's fiat currencies. All of these shitty government fucking schemes will all be destroyed. Okay? Will it take 2,500 years? No. It'll probably take 25 or less. Probably take less than 25. Exactly how long? I don't know. Okay? Like I said, in 490 BC, nobody knew that democracy was going to take over the planet. Even the Greeks who beat the Persian fleet at Marathon, the wildest dude celebrating like at the max did not think, hey, you know what? Someday we're going to take over the planet. You know, nobody thought that, but that's eventually what happened. Okay, democracy grew up in a neighborhood full of dudes that were bigger, stronger, and around a whole lot longer. And Bitcoin is the same. Decentralized money coupled with decentralized problem solving is the ultimate in fucking human freedom. Yeah, Tom Anderson, democracy sucks. That's why it killed your heroes. Your heroes were weak and deserving of death, which is why they are all dead. And by the way, Tom Anderson, you weren't around earlier. I know you're a big Nietzsche guy, probably a big Nietzsche guy. Are you a Nietzsche guy, Anderson? Right, yes or no in the chat if you're a Nietzsche guy. Because Nietzsche was a whoremonger, like he dug whores, you know. And after, like I said, let's go to Tom Anderson Fantasyland. Ready? Ready, kids? 1, 2, 3, here we go. Let's go to Tom Anderson Fantasyland, where we kick out the Jews. The Jews go, here's the keys to the money printer. Don't hurt us. And they run back to Tel Aviv. Or maybe you convince like all the blacks to swim back to Africa with the Jews strapped to their back, right? You push all the black people to the beach. You tie a Jew to their fucking back and you go swim back to Africa, motherfucker. Okay? And they do. I don't know why they do this, but they do this. Okay? And then you take all the beaners and you kick them back on that side of the Rio Grande, and the chopstick people dig a hole down to China and then throw the dirt back over their heads so they stay in China. And now here we are with the perfect white America. Nietzsche was not married. He had no kids. He had no family. If family is the basis of civilization, then Nietzsche is not a civilized guy, right? Nietzsche was a whore guy. So they're going to need to be whores. Who are the whores going to be? Who are the whores going to be? Lieutenant Kilgore. You're real fucking dude. Like, do you have fucking like webbed fingers and 6 fucking toes? How retarded are you? I swear to God, half this fucking audience is people with fucking webbed fingers and 6 fucking toes. Look, go like this. Is there space between your fingers like I got, or is there skin there? You fucking write it in the fucking chat. You have webbed fingers and count your number of toes. Is it this many toes or this many? Fucking retards. Come out of your house and say something about fucking Nietzsche. You wouldn't even get the second half of the fucking word out before somebody knocks you fucking flat and takes your shit. You know, you want to listen. Nietzsche is the hero of the mentally ill. He's not the hero of athletes. He's not the hero of mathematicians. He's not the hero of anybody fucking that did anything. You know what I mean? If you want to be a worthless nothing, right, and just bang whores, maybe you do OnlyFans because it's the 21st century. You do OnlyFans. You want to simp for OnlyFans? Who was that one? Oh, they just had it on Twitter. Fuck. Brandy Love. Porn star. Conservative porn star. You could send all your money to her. You could simp for Brandy Love, I think she's Jewish actually, porn star who writes for, I don't know who the fuck she writes for, like the Heritage Foundation or something like that. Your worthless, shitty ideas have been written down, and everyone has ignored them. Everyone who has achieved everything doesn't think anything you think. You believe what zero achievers believe. You don't know, like, see how fucking electricity works, how the internet works? You don't know how that fucking works. You don't know how it's generated. You don't know about substations. You don't know about fucking coils that made out of ceramic. You don't know none of that. And you can't fix that. You just think shit always works. You don't even pay the fucking electric bill, okay? Mommy does. Mommy pays your fucking electric bill. When shit goes wrong, you go, look at those blacks in South Africa burning the fucking power plant. Well, who fixes it? You? Are you qualified to do electrical engineering? Do you think you just walk up to fucking the burned out power plant with your copy of Thus Spake Zarathustra and go, well, what do you think fucking happens? How do you think that happens? Who fucking builds, designs, and fucking installs the transformers? You have no fucking idea. You have no fucking idea because you don't even pay the fucking bill. You don't even pay the fucking bill. You spend all day. This is what you guys do. There's a thing on Twitter, which is like I don't know what the gayest thing is because I don't even know, like, the gayest fucking thing ever. That meter on my fucking dial broke years ago. But there's the gayest fucking shit ever is this the thing on fucking Twitter. They go, tell me you're rich without telling me you're rich. And you're like, Consuela makes my bed while Pedro mows my grass or whatever the fuck, right? Tell me X without telling me X, right? Which I don't know what the point is. Like, it's to show how clever you are, or it's to pretend you have the ability to reason from the facts, right? Because you can't really do it. So you set it up so you can't fail. Tell me X without telling me X. So I'll tell you what. Here's what I'll do. I'm gonna play this game now. I'm gonna tell you you're a fucking retard without telling you you're a fucking retard. Okay? So here's what you do. You go in the kitchen, right? You go and go through the door, go in the fucking kitchen, open the fucking drawer, take out a butter knife, all right? Take a fucking butter knife, make sure it's a butter knife, okay? Walk over to the fucking socket in the wall and stick the fucking butter knife in the socket in the fucking wall. Then come back here and tell me what fucking happened. That's my way of telling you you're a fucking retard without saying you're a fucking retard. You have no idea how fucking water systems are kept fucking clean, how much fucking water people fucking need. You have no idea how to fucking move food from the farms to the factories to the supermarkets, and you ain't never going to work a job. You're never going to stock supermarket shelves. That's beneath you, right? I mean, you're not going to drive a truck. That's beneath you. You respect farmers, but you ain't waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go fucking hop in the fucking tractor and do whatever the fuck they got to do. You ain't doing none of that. Right? You can't get a fucking callus, because that's lowbrow. Okay, you can't do math because that's geeky, right? You ain't gonna win the fucking Fields Medal. You are an inspiration provider, which means you are a worthless piece of shit. I'm not fucking kidding you. The world does not need you. Every breath you fucking take steals oxygen from someone who could use it for something fucking useful. You have no fucking wives, no fucking children, no fucking responsibility. So you fucking fap to fucking Hitler pictures and fucking whatever Nietzsche speeches. You're fucking retards. And you wonder why everyone hates you. That's how stupid you are. That's why you go in the kitchen, get the butter knife, stick it in the fucking electrical socket, and then come back here and tell me what happened. All right? Look at Lieutenant Kilgore. Oh, look at you. Oh, Lieutenant Kilgore, you're so fucking gay. You were so fucking gay. Jesus Christ. You know, whatever. Good luck to you. Best of luck. Best of luck. How long have I been going? 1 hour and a half. I'm trying to keep these relatively short. What is it? 12 midnight here. Try to keep this short because, one, no one has that much fucking time and no one gives a shit. And two, it's going to be like 90 plus degrees tomorrow and I got to go to work. I got to go work outside and pick up, fingers crossed it's not heavy shit because this week was all fucking heavy shit. And then whatever, drive the box from point A to point B, Try not to get run over by somebody playing Fast and the Furious in fucking public highways. And that's that. You know what I mean? Like for me, I'm thinking right now, I gotta put more cash in my checking account because there's so many deer on the side of the road. You wouldn't believe. You'd actually have to leave your house to see this, but there were deer all over the fucking place. This COVID thing. The COVID thing has wildlife like all over where it never was. And in the states that I travel through, like New Jersey, New York, Maryland, and Massachusetts, there's no hunting. Pennsylvania, there's hunting, but whatever. Anyway, there's a lot of deer on the side of the road. They jump in front of your car, you hit them, it's a big problem. And I'm starting to think like, okay, it's July, October, November is like peak deer season, like peak. That's their mating season or their rutting season. And a normally stupid animal gets even double stupider because they run across the road. They don't even run straight. They go back and forth. If I hit a fucking deer, I'm going to need to buy a new car. Now, I don't mean new car, but a new car for me. So I got to have enough cash on hand to buy another car. So I'm thinking ahead. What are my problems? How can I solve my problems before I get there? If it doesn't happen, great. I got extra cash in the bank. But if it does happen, I got to be prepared. I don't want to be left without. And the reason why I do that is because I'm a fucking adult who's responsible, right? And when you think about governance and think about me governing my life, right? You guys like Enoch Powell, the purpose of government is to solve foreseeable problems. Okay, what are my foreseeable problems? I could hit a deer in the next October, November. It's very, very high probability. So let's be prepared for that. You know what I mean? Make sure the brakes are good in the car, make sure the tires are good in the car, and make sure when all that fails, because I've been driving 16 fucking hours and my eyes are popping out of my fucking head and I hit that stupid fucking critter anyway, that assuming I walk away uninjured, right? I don't fucking, fingers crossed that like I said, I get out of this without a scratch. I'm going to need a new car because nobody's buying me a new car. I got to buy another car and I got to go to work in 2 days. Okay. I can't afford to take 2 weeks off and seek inspiration from fucking Otto Spengler. You know what I mean? Because I can't, when my fucking landlord wants to fucking rent, here a warm cup of Otto Spengler's inspiration doesn't fucking do it. You know what I mean? I'll be fucking evicted. So this is me looking at my life and trying to solve problems before I get to those problems. Luckily, no one in the chat is a fucking adult and has to solve problems. You can just say stupid shit and do your little Hitler march around your fucking bedroom. You know what I mean? And imagine that fucking chicken tendies just appear like magic in your fucking refrigerator, not understanding how all of that shit really works. Yeah, deer whistles. Literally, you have no idea what you're talking about. Deer whistles. Why not gremlin bells? Let's go right into the magic thinking. You're such a high IQ genius who's so worldly wise. Why don't you just go with gremlin bells? You know what I mean? You really want to get some boomer fucking shit. That's useless. All right. So, one more week to figure out the system that's better than democracy as governance. One more week to come up with the currency that's better than Bitcoin. Another week to find someone who has achieved worldwide fame that was inspired by Nietzsche, Evola, or Spengler. Although he did write the Star Spangled Banner, so you know what I mean. I'll give him that. Spengler did write the Star Spangled Banner. But other than that, I don't know what else he did other than write that song. And so you say I'm straw manning. So the guys lifting heavy objects, you don't like them. Guys winning math prizes, you don't like them. So you're not strong and you're not smart. You're some kind of squishy middle nothing. But you're really a Superman. We just can't figure it out, right? We just can't see. We don't have the eyes to fucking see it. That's about where we are. So I'll give you another week with everything. If you happen to have the answer to any of my challenges, I will send $10 to your fucking charity of fucking choice, whatever, or $20. But put the answer in the fucking comments. Describe your system of governance that is superior to democracy. Describe your currency that is superior to Bitcoin, and come up with the names of the champions of something, the top of the field in any fucking human endeavor, that quotes Nietzsche, Spengler, or Evola as inspiration. Okay, so there you go. There's your challenges. I'll send you cash I'll send you money on cash, whatever, PayPal, whatever the fuck. You come up with any of those three, put the fucking answer in the comments below. Put the answer in the comments below. Make sure to smash up the like button. Make sure to share this with your little fucking friends who hide underneath the covers when the mailman comes, or whatever the fuck you do when strangers are outside your door. And with that, I will play the crappy Greek disco music and see you guys next week. Hopefully that dude on Twitter agrees to some kind of blood sports thing, and maybe we could do something different, maybe spice things up. But right now, I'm just like a war machine looking for my next victim. See what happens when and if it happens. Anyway, good night, guys. Thanks for showing up. Make sure to like or dislike the stream. I really don't give a fuck either way. But I will send you $10 in Bitcoin, Tom Anderson, if you describe the system of human governance that is superior to democracy. Or you can tell me the name of the person who has achieved something and credits Nietzsche, Evola, or Spengler as the launch pad for their achievements. You know what I mean? Or what was the other fucking third one? I can't remember what the third one is. You could do either one of those. So and the currency that's better than Bitcoin. Okay, why the U.S. dollar or the French franc or the French franc doesn't exist anymore? The Swiss franc I think still does. The euro or the Japanese yen. Tell me what's better than fucking Bitcoin? Yeah, National Socialism. Got beaten to a fucking pulp. Got burned up in the city of Dresden a long time ago. You try to fucking Kilgore, you got to be a cop. You got to be a fucking cop. And others, how the fuck are you, Monero? Yeah, listen, I've been around more fucking criminal fucking transactions than you can count. I used to be in the taxi business in New York. Trust me, I've been around more criminal transactions than you can fucking count, right? Is that just you just randomly spitting out, you fucking spurging out socialism, Monero, Theodore Kaczynski. Yeah, what would Theodore Kaczynski be without the fucking post office? He'd just be some dude with no fucking fingers trying to open a can of fucking ravioli in the fucking woods. Fuck out of here, Theodore Kaczynski, you fucking retard. Yeah, without a system of a postal system to fucking to carry out his murder plans, you know, to just randomly murder people. Yeah, there's a fucking system of governance. Let's just randomly murder people, you know, because we're in a pissy mood. And you wonder why you're fucking friendless, you can't get fucking laid, and if you ever leave the house, you're going to be beaten into a bloody red smear in the fucking sidewalk. Really? We'll talk about that next weekend. Plato and the Republic, talking about that militaristic society. Plato was there was no name for it. Plato was a big fan of Sparta. Socrates was a big fan of Sparta as well. We're gonna have to go into that Sparta and its failures. I'll try to do that for next week. I'll try to pull some stuff together. Anyway, it's 1:40 now. I said I was leaving 10 minutes ago. All right. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out, guys. Thanks for showing up. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna hit the outro music, and I'll talk to you guys again next week.